So, hello students. Today our topic of discussion is types of adaptive immunity. We know that immunity is the defense of our body against pathogens and cancer. And in it we see that we divide immunity in innate immunity and adaptive immunity. So then this adaptive immunity is being divided in two types, humoral immunity and cell-mediated immunity. So humoral means the liquid part of the blood without cell, that is serum. And in the cell-mediated immunity, we see that the immunity due to the cells of the blood, white blood cells of the blood. So in it, we see that in the humoral immunity, the first thing are is the microbes. So, so extracellular microbes. Humoral immunity will act against extracellular microbes. And cell-mediated immunity will act against cancer cells and viruses, which are within the cell. So there are two arms of the immunity, humoral immunity, in which antibodies and B cells will act and will play an active role. While in the cell-mediated immunity, the microbes or the threat is within the cell. And to tackle it, there will be T cells, TC cells, and TH cells. So in the humoral immunity, the microbe is extracellular, and in cell-mediated immunity, microbe is intracellular. Then the second difference is responding lymphocytes. So in humoral immunity, responding lymphocytes are the B lymphocytes, and in cell-mediated immunity, there's helper cells, T helper cells, and TC cells are CD8 cells, and T helper cells are CD4 lymphocytes. They are playing important role. So in the responding lymphocytes in the humoral immunity, it will be the B lymphocytes. In the cell-mediated cytotoxicity or cell-mediated immunity, TH cells and TC cells will take part. Then we see effector mechanisms. So in the effector mechanisms, we see that secreted antibodies by plasma cells, they will play important role to neutralize those microbes, to inform the immune system, that is, for example, macrophages, and these help helper cells and TC cells. So to inform these macrophages that threat is there and it had to be eliminated, these antibodies will take part. With the help of their FC part, they will inform macrophages about the threat, about the presence of microbes. Then we come to the cell-mediated immunity. In it, we see that these TH lymphocytes and TC lymphocytes. So here you can see that there's T cell receptors, and the process antigen will be presented by MHC2 to this T cell receptor. they will bind specifically, and this TH cells will be activated, and it will secrete some substances which will bind with the receptor on the target cell, and then it will destroy that cell which have viruses in it. So this TC cells, so in it we see that this in the TC cell, the MHC1 will present a process antigen to the TC cell, and this TC cell will bind specifically with the help of T cell receptor, and then it will be activated and it will secrete some things to destroy this target cell. So basically, in the cell-mediated immunity, the TC cell will play the important role. And TH cell will help and guide these T C cell and B cells. So the antigen process antigen will be presented by MC2 in the TH cell, and in case of this TC cell, the MC1 will present it. And here you can see a pillar cell structure here. This is very important, and it is the co-stimulatory signal. In it, we see that these cells, they will present. You see that this is CD28. So, sorry. So we see that this T cells, TH cell will produce CD28. And this one, antigen processing cell, it will produce B7. And they will couple CD28 and this CD28 B7 will couple. Their coupling will take place and it will produce co-stimulatory signal. So both these things are important. Co-stimulatory signal, that is coupling of CD28 and B7, and this is coupling of MHC2 with process antigen and a specific T cell receptor bearing this TH cell. So they will bind, couple with each other, and then these two couplings will lead to the activation of TH cell, which will secrete some substances, and these substances will target the target cell. So anyway, we see that there are two types of immunity, that is humoral immunity and cell-mediated immunity. And in the humoral immunity, we see that the liquid part of the blood will take part. And in the cell-mediated immunity, we see that the white blood cells, especially lymphocytes, and in the lymphocytes, the T lymphocytes will take part in cell-mediated immunity. Responding cells will be the B lymphocytes and TC and TH cells and cell-mediated immunity, and B cells and the humoral immunity. And effector mechanism will be that it would secrete antibodies, and in case of humoral immunity, and this cell-mediated immunity, this activation of these TH cells and TC cells will take place with the help of MHC2 and MHC1, and they will bind with the corresponding cells, TC cells and TH cells, and then they will destroy the target cell. So this is transferred, this immunity, humoral immunity is transferred through serum antibodies. And here, this in the cell-mediated immunity, it will be transferred to T lymphocytes and TC lymphocytes. And the functions of humoral immunity will be that it will block infections and eliminate extracellular microbes. And in the cell-mediated immunity, it will activate macrophages to kill phagocytosed microbes. And in the TC cell, it will kill infected cells and eliminate reservoirs of infection. So it's something about the comparison of these two types of adaptive immunity, that is humoral immunity and cell-mediated immunity. Okay, thank you. See you then.